And welcome back to Captain Reviews. This is going to be episode number 7. And so in this episode, we're going to go through the next 5 creations posted to my Discord. So let's go ahead and bring those up, and we'll start with the first one. So the first one's going to be the Cromwell Mark 1 challenge build. So it looks good here. It says simple logic, no XML. So that's kind of nice to have a no XML for a change, kind of showing the base blocks. I think that lets some people know who are inexperienced with XML that you can still make some cool stuff without it. It's nice to have simple logic as well so that it's a little bit more approachable. This is created by Phantom Raptor. And so let's go ahead through the description. This tank is for the Stormworks Engineering Group Challenge due for November 6, 2022. The rules were simple. No microcontrols, only simple logic blocks even if for deco. No mods or XML, no glitches, must be no larger than 15 by 35 by 18 outside the editor. All DLC parts allowed based on 1941 styles. This was a fun challenge and makes you think of how to make a decent looking vehicle that performs well. There are a few kinks to sort out, such as the machine gunner with the shells landing in front of the gunner and the turret slowly moving. I'll also try my best to get the RPS setting and get her faster. Alright, sounds good. So it's nice to have a simple build every once in a while that's a little less complicated. I think that it's often daunting for people who are starting the game. They see all these super complex builds, and they're kind of a little bit intimidated by that. All right, so let's check these workshop pages here. All right, so we have the Cromwell Mark 1. Let's bring it in, and I'm just going to move it to the front of the build area so that you can get it right out the door. All right, so again, no XML editing on this, pretty simple logic. Let's just take a quick look on the outside here. Good looking tank, like the old 1940 style. He said it was based 1941 style tanks. Very cool. Interesting stuff down here, like so for here are your handle controls. So in order to make those handle controls work, you need to have the floors down because you need 3 block spacing here. As you see, if I try to build here, those handles are in the way. So that's a neat way to put those in. All right, so let's spawn it in. Now do a quick walk around. Looks good, nice detailing on here, especially without use of XMLs. It's interesting having to use the old style blocks. I've never really gone into using those. So let's go ahead and jump in. Always struggle up on these tanks. Sometimes there are handles. So they're holds, so there is one of the positions there. Here's another position here. Position there, and position there. I think we can go turn the lights on. Often, if you have a very lightly colored build, lights on just reflect too much. So something nice and dark like this, we should be able to turn the lights on. Like the clamshell design, let's go ahead and jump in. Try not to crash my head. So this is the gunner. All right, so space is fire. So left, right here. We have turret up, down, left, right. It's fire. And I probably have to load this. I don't know if I have to load it or not. Probably do. Have a shell on me. See which one I'm moving. It should be main gun. Yep. Probably have to load this. Let me check. There's a lot of the logic hidden around here, as you can see, because of that need. Oh, so is this disconnected? So it appears the seat is not connected here. So that might get jammed into the mechanism. Let's see. What is this? Unloaded. So let me see if I can load it. Okay, so now it's loaded. Okay. That's a cool way to load it. Yep, so that's the cannon. That's how you load it. That's pretty cool. A little bit different way to do it. See if I can get out of this area here. Up, I have the shell in my hand that probably is won't let me out. I need to jump in a seat. Okay. So the seat labeled, what is this? Loader. Okay, so you'd have a dedicated loader here that their job would be to load. And I don't know what happened to this seat. That seat fell. Let's see what this is. Driver. So of course, as you can see, I was saying how this handle is there. That that's why the floor could open. Handbrake starts on. Okay, that's RPS. So I'm trying to see. So you kind of this must be kind of simulating a little window that you're looking through here. Kind of glitched through for a window. Handbrake starts on. Let's shut that off. What is that? Just a colored block. Let's see, steering pitch, space brake. Steering pitch, space brake. RPS up and down. Let's see why this is not turning on. Let's click infinite fuel just for now. Okay, we don't get it with infinite fuel. Try infinite electricity. Okay. See if we're on. Can't really read the gauges because I'm smashed into the gauges. Oh, now I'm outside. Alright, let's try to get back in. Let's try to figure out why I can't get this started. This door is going to probably hit the barrel. Okay, let's get in on this side here. Okay, let's check this position out. This is gunner. Again, yeah, so it looks like it's kind of, it's kind of on purpose. We glitch through the wall so we can see. It's an interesting way to do it. There's kind of a stationary machine gun on that side, and I get plopped out again. So, that's kind of to be expected. This build, as he was saying, was designed as a challenge to use, no real glitches or things like that. So, of course, you have you're gonna have to be creative with how you do things. See if I can't figure this out. Fuel, speed, RPS. So if I can't get this. So I'm gonna click on infinite electricity. Okay. Alright, so I don't know what was up initially, but we're running now. I'm gonna decrease the throttle. So, a little bit jittery on the throttle, but that's probably because, as he said with the build, you can't, use microcontrollers, so, it's probably challenging trying to use all the regular logic blocks to get that to operate properly. It's a nice looking tank. It's moving well. Let's go ahead. I'm going to increase the throttle a little. Nice and fast, good speed. Not unrealistic, so that's pretty good. So I like this overall. This is good. It's good use of space for having to not have any glitches. That's kind of interesting, having to do things like that. And how do I shut the engine off? Probably throttle all the way back, maybe? Start it? Okay, good. So yeah, there's a cool tank. I like this. It's neat having a loader that has to load your gun. You still can do it from the seat, but it's, it's also nice that you have to have a loader. But really cool tank, and especially for not having any XML or microcontroller use. So let's go ahead and let's jump in the next one. So let's grab the workshop, and we'll see what the next one's going to be here. So this is definitely tank week. We have a lot of tanks. So next one here is the Maleo class infantry fighting vehicle. All right, and this is from Skelbton. So let's look through it. We just have a picture of a chicken and the vehicle. Start at throttle up. Recommend setting it to 70. Sight power on. How to drive. Press 1 to turn left, 2 right. I understand isn't the best system, but I'm trying to keep micros to a minimum. How to shoot and use the turret. WASD for turret control. To load, press 3. To open the gun breech, and hold 4 to put a shell into the breech. The magazine holds 6 rounds with extra ammo in the cabin. Guarantee I will forget some stuff and have to update it. Enjoy. Don't re-upload, please. United Oceania Discord, just to let you know the gun is shorter because it's more useful than longer barrel. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's jump into this one here. Right, there it is. Let's look at it outside. It's a nice and clean infantry fighting vehicle. Good detailing on there. Big gun. Looks like a coax gun on there. And some rockets. Let's go and spawn it in. Alright, let's see if we can't get in. I'll do a quick walk around here. Ladder in the back, so we can use that. That'll be helpful to get up. Couple electrical port and a fuel port. Looks like just gun business here. Unless I'm supposed to get in a weird way. Okay, we can go in here. This way is good. Alright, so there's driver's seat. There's another hatch there. A lot of gun business here. Is this labeled? Okay, this is driver gunner. So, looks like single position. So, I'm going to go through and I will... Just deleted my my instructions for it. Let me bring those back up here. Always helpful to have some instructions. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's go throttle. It says 70. I assume that's 0.7. It says 70 there, so I assume it's 0.7. That's lights. Sight power. Okay, where's starter? It says lights. Okay, what is going on? Okay, so it's moving on its own. All right. All right, so what's up with that? All right, it says starter. Let me show you guys. Trying to follow these instructions here, so let's see. It says starter, throttle up, 70, sight power on. So I'm curious if it's electric, and there's no starter. We shall see. We shall see indeed. So let's check it out, see what we can do here. All right, so turn on the lights. Lights are on. Infrared sight. Sight power. Go sight power on. Reverse, countermeasures, arm countermeasures, internal light, rockets. Okay. Rockets fire the rockets. All right. Here's my sight there. All right. All right, so it appears it might be electric here. So 1 is left, so it seems like it's okay. What's going on here? Very confused with this the way this is running here. So now let's go to 70 where we're recommended to go. Okay. So it appears that what it does is it's electric drive, and that 1 and 2 just do brakes essentially. So 2 will do a right brake, so we do like a hammerhead turn or handbrake turn, and 1 does brakes. It's an interesting way to do it. So we can steer our gun, as you can see with the sight, up, down, left, right. Let's see. Breach is 3. Load cannon's 4. How do I fire? Space cannon. Alright, so let's stop so I can figure this gun out. Alright, I am trying to follow the instructions, but let's see. Could be a me problem, but having issues with the instructions here as well. So let's try to figure this out. How to shoot. WASD. To load, press 3. Okay, I did that. I probably didn't close the breach. Let me try closing the breach. So 3. Alright, so I just add that on there. Your instructions say to load, press 3, open the gun breech, hold 4, put a shell into the breech, the magazine holds 6 rounds. I would press 3 to open the breech, Press 4 to put in a shell, press 3 to close the breach, then space to fire. That's what I would do. So 3, 4, 3, space. Okay. So that works. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and reverse. So the control scheme could use some work just because, you know, this isn't ideal. You have to do a throttle. And if, like right now, I'm not up to 70, so as you can see, I can't turn at all, so I'm pretty much stationary. Control system could probably use some work, but rockets, what's this say? Made by Oceana, okay. Let's just put that to 0 for now. All right, so this is a cool build. Could use some, you know, control work. The control's a little bit strange. Let's see, coaxial is 5. But it's definitely a cool build. Just you know, I would work in the control system a little bit, make it a little bit easier, a little bit more intuitive to use. But great build. Next build is the O'Neill SFB 267. So we have a plane. Very cool looking plane here. All right. It's created by Joona. There's a small World War II era bomber. It's based off a World War II German plane and other World War II planes. Remember to keep infinite fuel off because this does not work with infinite fuel. And when taking off, keep rudders in up position. Okay, rudders, that's not the correct term. I would assume you're talking about the elevators. Rudders in up position. Okay, I will play with it first, and then I will try to figure out the terminology, and I'll give you some correct terminology for this from my aviation experience. So let's go ahead and let's grab it. All right, so let's take a quick look. So yep, looks like a cool old, you know, World War II German plane. Looks like it has folding wings to keep that that dihedral on the wings. So if you mean these control surfaces here, let's go through a quick control surface lesson here. If these are for rolling the aircraft, those are your ailerons. These are for pitching your aircraft. These are called elevators. This here is for your yaw control. That's called your rudder. All right, we have a couple missiles on there. Look cool detailing in there. Let's go ahead and spawn it in. All right, we'll do a little walk around here. So let me make sure before I forget. We'll shut. I had infinite fuel on for a second for that one. Torque crank. Kind of like hand propping it. Interesting. It has a fixed pitch. I'm concerned about a fixed pitch. We'll see how that works in game. Sometimes the game does not like having a fixed pitch. What is this? Pump. That's for fuel pump. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm just gonna no clip up onto the wing so I can get in. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look through here. So we have a parachute, heater behind me. We have landing taxi lights, release hardpoint 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it looks like, you know, we have those 4 on the wings there. Throttle. We have our cabin lights. Nav lights, 3, 4 again, battery, landing gear, airspeed, altitude, full wings. Okay, full wings brings it all the way up. Ooh, afraid that's going to crush me in the head. Put full wings back down. Heater. Let's see if it's on. Heater is true. Okay. Compass. Transponder locator. Fuel closed. Okay, fuel open. All right, so that's cool using the manual valve. Let's see. Hardpoints will release from left to right. Okay. I can manually select my hardpoints. Interesting. All right, AD is roll. There's your ailerons. WS is pitch. Left, right is yaw. That seems awfully fast on these, so We'll see how it performs. This is like super duper fast for me, but we'll see. One is brakes. So let me just jump out really quick. I want to make sure we have a pistol there too. So, and I just clicked on spacebar, and that sounds like that will be our trigger. Brakes false. Okay, I just want to make sure we didn't have a parking brake on that I didn't see. What is this? That is toggle button. So I would label your toggle button. I don't know what it does. So I'm assuming this does the canopy. Yep. Okay, so how do I close this when I'm inside? That's the question. So I can't close this while I'm inside. I can't even get it through. Let me try closing it and... Nope. So I would label your button, and I would make it so you can also control it from inside. Right, so there is no instructions on how to start, so that's interesting. So again, I have to figure this out on my own, which is okay, but again, I would put that on electric circuit breaker. Maybe that needs an electric circuit breaker for the... No. Let's see, where's toggle button? I just got it. There we go. So we can do it from here. It's just hard to see. All right. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to start this on my own. So no clue. So I would definitely make sure you put in the descriptions on how to start this. Okay, throttle. Okay, so it auto starts. Does it shut off if I pull the throttle all the way back? It does. That, again, I would... You don't want that IRL. You definitely don't want to pull your throttle all the way back and have the engine stop. That's how you crash a plane. So I would definitely set a minimum throttle. I would have a starter on there. I would have it so that you can control it. Also, like I have to manually look over here and control my throttle. That's not my favorite, so. All right, so let's taxi out. Taxi out to the runway, and we'll take off. So I like to have my throttle on the up-down arrows. That way I can use WASD and left-right for my controls, and then I can also do throttle, you know. And the last thing you want is to pull the throttle all the way out and have the engine die. You know, you need to have good control of your throttle at all times. So I understand why you did that, because you have no pitch control in the prop, but you could have something in there where when you bring the prop all the way back, it goes to neutral pitch on the prop, or very low pitch. You know, generally below 10%, you're going to be fine. So let's go ahead, and I have to stay in first person here because I have to have my throttle control. So let's... Okay, I don't know what the engine just stalled. Alright, so I'm keeping my elevators up to keep the tail down. That's a pretty normal procedure. Normally you'd actually tip the tail up like this and then do it like that. So, whoa. So, alright, let me see what I can do here. I'm gonna just jam this forward. Okay, very hard to fly. Alright, so I'm starting to get it under control. The ailerons are very sensitive, overly sensitive. I would decrease the sensitivity on the ailerons. Pitch is not bad. Pitch, you know, is pretty good. Yaw is going to be a nightmare, I bet. Yep, yaw is way too sensitive. Yeah, so yaw is way too sensitive. Pitch, ailerons are way too sensitive. So let's try to hit one of our friends over there here in a second, but yeah, it just makes it very difficult to fly because I can't control my thrust. I need to be able to control my throttle at all times. The ailerons aren't performing too terribly. I would just... Yeah, the ailerons aren't too bad. They're just... It's like, see how it's wallowy and it's like, it kind of rocks? You know, pitch is a little bit too sensitive, but yaw is incredibly sensitive. So I would work on that sensitivity a little bit and kind of just tweak it a little bit. Let's try to get a missile shot off at one of these tanks. I feel like I'm stalling the whole time. Like I feel like I'm stalling the whole time. And it seems like the center of lift and the control surface are not in line with center of gravity because it's trying to pitch me as I do other things too. So let's fire a... Missile off. Okay, so they're bombs. All right, that's fine. Let's go ahead and drop a bomb on these guys here. Let's just follow it in. All right, pretty good. All right, let me see if I can't get a land in. Again, it's incredibly hard to land if you have to look over here to control your throttle. All right, so the other thing too is like it constantly wants to go back to the center position. I wonder if that's because of the dihedral on the wings. But it's a cool little airplane, definitely. Just oh, see, like it's fighting me the whole time. Like right here, I'm losing a ton of altitude because it's trying to stall the whole time. But yeah, it's definitely a cool airplane. I like it a lot. It just could use a little bit of control tweaking to make it a little bit smoother and a little bit more user-friendly. See, like I have to look over here, I have to look away from where I'm landing, and I screw up my alignment doing this. And see, like I feel like I have very little control over my engine the whole time. So, pretty close to center line, a little bit off, but definitely a cool little airplane. I like this a lot. Just, you know, controls could use a little bit of work. You know, when you say that you want to keep the rudders up, these are called your elevators. So you essentially want to, you know, you want to keep the tail on the ground because you'll hit the prop. So, you know, I would do, you know, hold S on takeoff, essentially, is a good way to put it so that people know what you're talking. I didn't put the gear up. Let's do that really quick. Put the gear up. Okay, whoa. Yeah, it's super twitchy. Go ahead and put the landing gear up so we can watch it. Very cool gear. It's nice to see. Okay. See if I can't do a quick landing here. That, I can't imagine that engine's not going to overheat on me. I like it that you can see underneath. I was wondering what the glass panes were, if it was just for decoration, but oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, I just got myself into a spin there. Yeah, like, see, I don't have good thrust. See, now my engine stopped. So, I definitely, you don't want your engine to stop when you bring the throttle all the way back. I'm just going to land it somewhere here. So, like, I have very little control over this. But that would be my only criticism is definitely make... Oh, see, now I'm going to crash. See, like, this is... Oh, what the hell, dude? So, yeah, this is tough to fly. Yeah, so I would just work on the flight mechanics of it a little bit so that, like, this is... Like, that is super twitchy. Like, here, I'll show you an example of one of my planes. But yeah, you definitely don't want the engine shutting itself off. That is just a recipe for disaster. Like here, I'll show you how my ailerons move. So these are how my ailerons move. See how smooth they are? Elevator, and then this is my rudder. So twitchy is not the way to go. If you have twitchy flying, it upsets the flight characteristics. You want to be in control the whole time. Also, like I said, you know, you don't want the throttle when you bring the throttle all the way back to shut the engine off. That's been two videos in a row. People have done that. That is just very difficult. And then you want to be able to control your throttle, ideally with the up-down arrows, especially because every other control is used. You know, sometimes you can use like a 1-2 key to control your throttle, but you know, I think up-down tends to be better. All right, cool build. I really enjoyed it. A little bit more instruction, perhaps. You know, like you didn't say how to start it. I would put that in there. All right, so let's go to the next one here. We have the Electromagnetic Hovercraft 14. It's a very cool vehicle. This is a fantasy build. All right, this is by Benzin. Simon Stellenhag pack. Maleo Loop Magnetic Hovercraft Model 14, designed to reach the remotest places with the help of a new electromagnetic levitation technology from the visual novel Tales from the Loop by Simon Stalag. We also opened up a new Discord server, share our creation, talk about other stuff. Anyone is welcome to join. Okay. Very cool. Startup. Access the pilot house. Flip the main circuit breaker located next to the pilot house door. Leave the hangar without activating the magnetic levitation. Instead, simply throttle up with W and slide out of the hangar. Once you left the hangar, come to a complete stop and activate the electromagnetic levitation propulsion with its designated key located on your right. Electromagnetic levitation propulsion system will start in the first mode, the auto mode. This will keep the hovercraft above a couple meters relative to ground level. Steer with AD and throttle with WS. If you desire to land or gain more altitude, press 1 to switch to manual mode. In manual mode, you can adjust the power of the electromagnetic discs with the up-down keys. Beware that in manual mode, the hovercraft will not react to ground level. Featuring auto hover and manual mode, hold heading, rear and landing cameras, interactive map, medical and personal beds, medium winch, and 4-point anchors around the hovercraft, lift mode for extra lifting power. Notice to switch to manual mode and adjust your altitude manually when traversing over water. Approach hills slowly. If you want to descend or ascend really fast, activate the extra lift mode. Hovercraft Model 14 is really heavy. When landing on ships for rescue, except do not put the entire weight of the hovercraft on the deck. Instead, stick the anchors to the ship's deck and slowly lower yourself in manual mode until you touch the deck. Do not turn the propulsion system off or do not pull the propulsion throttle all the way up, all the way down when docked with a ship, otherwise you'll sink the ship. Featured van and picture provided by, not even going to try that. Please do not modify or re-upload. So another build by Benzin. So I'm going to leave the directions up. I want to make sure I don't screw up my procedures here. All right, so let's go ahead and let's load this in. There it is. All right, very cool build. Been looking at this one for a while, just on pictures and workshops. So it'd be cool to get in this. Very cool design. I like these fantasy builds from from movies and shows and whatnot. Let's spawn on him. All right, what just dropped on? Okay, those look like anchors. All right. So let's access the pilot house, direction 1. All right. So flip the main circuit breaker right next to the door. Okay, good. Leave the hangar without activating electromagnetic levitation. So let's see. I don't have any of my screens on. Let's see what these are. Transponder, pilot house light. Okay. That's heater, propulsion. So let's not activate that yet. Headlights, rear lights, fog lights, back lights, manual, fan throttle, hold heading, degrees, map, landing cam. Okay, so those are my 3 video cameras. Switch to manual, height mode, reverse, horn, and extra lift. Okay, and then we have, so first we're going to leave the hangar. Instead, simply throttle up with W and slide out of the hangar. Alright, so we're just going to slide out. And then it says, once you left the hangar, come to a complete stop, okay? And activate the electromagnetic levitation. Alright, so that's lifting us up off the ground. Okay, so we're levitated. Okay, very cool. Alright, so we're in auto mode. We can steer with AD and WS. So we can steer. I just set the throttle and I'm going to steer. So I kind of want to go over a little bit of terrain here. What is over there? Just trying to go over a couple of these little bumps here to check it out. So very cool fantasy build. All right, let's continue to go down. Let's go into Manual mode. I'm just going to slow down a little bit. That way I'm not... Alright, so let's see. Manual mode. Alright, press 1 to switch to manual mode. Okay, 1. In manual mode, you can adjust the power to the electromagnetic disc with the up-down arrow keys. Alright, so that's my magnetic lift. As you can see, we can rise. Alright, very cool. And we can descend. Alright, I'm going to click 1 to go back into auto mode, so that should drop me down. Switch to manual with traversing over water and approach hills slowly. Okay, so that makes sense over the water too, because you need, most likely if you have a distance sensor, it doesn't read the water, it goes all the way through the water. So let's quickly go through headlights, fogs, rear lights, back lights. First horn, switch to, okay, extra lift mode. All right, so let's look at these lights. So very cool, very cool. Really great detailing on here. Really cool use of different paint colors for detailing. Flashing lights there, really cool. So let's go ahead and let's kind of walk off the rest of this build. So we have a equipment room here. We have a torch. Let's go down here. So we have all of our equipment. Really cool there. I'm amazed at how many of these old type of logic blocks are in here. I tend to use, come on. Let me see if I can't, I'm just going to jump in the seat. All right, and then let's see if we can't access it. I thought there was like beds and stuff in here, so I can't get this door shut for some reason. There we go. I was clicking on the wrong side of it. Let me see. Oh, I have just fallen to the ground. So there are anchors. Just kind of want to look in here, and we'll find our way in here in a second. So this is cool. This is a bunch of equipment stuff here. This is a hatch, so we probably can use that hatch. So let's go through here. Here's our bed. So this is a cool little sitting area. We have some bunk beds here. That's a cool way to do the med bed and have one on top. Cool little area in here with the lights. Yeah, very cool in here. Okay, so I just couldn't see the door. It was the same color, so I didn't see it. But very cool build. This is neat. I like these fantasy builds. So like I said, it's tank week. So the next build is the Graver class main battle tank. We'll go through some of these picks. Nice looking modern battle tank. Very cool. It's by Piotrix. Mainland Combat Forces. Read the description. Graver class MBT is armed with battle cannon. The tank has space for 3 crewmates. 1 imposter. Okay. Max speed is about cheeseburger kilometers an hour at a range in 2 square potatoes. So I rarely see this, but I really appreciate somebody using the appropriate measuring system of potatoes. It is very rare to see somebody who has a class and uses the potato system. So I'm glad to see that. I prefer a hamburger speed just because that's what I'm used to, but we can work with cheeseburger. All right. So it says read the description. Okay. So trying to. Where is the instructions? So it says read the description, but I'm not seeing it. Okay. So let's see. We're going to have to figure this one out a little bit. That doesn't have too much in the way of instructions, so should be able to figure it out, I hope. All right, so there's the Graver. Let's look at it. So I don't see many panels sticking out to start with, so we'll go ahead and we'll spawn it in and we'll check it out inside. Very good looking tank, modern slopes. Really like the detailing, good paint block work here. Even incorporating some of the weight blocks in there as decorative items. Very cool. Winch there. Bunch of decoration all over the place. I really like that. Just going to jump on top here. We have a bunch of extra seating on top. A bunch of, microcontrollers for the reactive armor. Let's go ahead and jump in. Ammo storage locked. Okay, is this going to be one of these that locks me out? All right. So we're inside. Okay, good. So we have a bunch of hazmat equipment. So preparing for the apocalypse, it appears. Have our commander, our gunner, and our driver. Let's go ahead and let's start with the driver's seat. So toggle button. Toggle button is not labeled, so that's never my favorite. It's always nice if something's labeled. So this lets us look out the window, or this lets us bring up the monitor. That's a cool way to do it. I really like that. That's pretty neat. Speed and fuel. So I don't know if this is on or not, because I did read the description, but there was not really any instructions. So I'm also looking at the H menu. Let's see. Chaff, smoke, lights, spotlights, handbrake. So, all right, so I've yet to find a way to start this. So let's go ahead and we're going to have to kind of figure it out on our own here. Heater, interior lights, engine. Okay. Give control to commander, so that's put in the commander seat, and I don't know what this torque crank does, so when things are not labeled, I have to guess. So, all right, so we're moving here. So I'm just using WS. AD moves very nice and precisely. It's easy to operate. Very cool. Very fast. All right. So let's go ahead and do chaff 1. I just shot it up. I don't know if you can see it. Shoot another one up there is chaff. Smoke grenades are 2. All right, very cool. 4 is spotlight. And 5 is handbrake. All right, good. So let's go ahead and let's jump in the gunner seat. Screen. Vertical stabilizer screen. Screen is on now. Okay. Zoom. All right. 1, smoke, chaff, turret spotlight. Okay. So left, right, up, down. Again, I would label those, put them on the H menu so I know what I'm doing here. Didn't take me long to figure it out, but that helps. Also, I assume that spacebar fires the cannon, but I have no clue. So again, it's always good to put that on there so that you know. Yep. And my barrel got stuck for a second, but that's not a big deal. That's just probably something with the game and getting caught. All right, very cool there. Let's see what else we have. We have zoom, so I can zoom my camera in. Oh, I hit him. Okay. That's good. So very cool. The gunner. Let's go to the commander. Let's switch control to commander. All right, so the commander can also control the gun here, it appears. Just trying to get a little bit twitchy when I'm zoomed in this much, but that's kind of to be expected. All right, so really cool on that. Let me see. Chaff, smoke, spots, turret, handbrakes, all the same controls. Infrared mode, I can swap out. All right, so very cool tank. This is definitely the tank video. So, again, those are our 5 vehicles for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely had a tank theme in this one. 5 great builds, again. I really appreciate them all. The only kind of notions and critiques I had, again, you know, these are just ideas. You know, I think your builds are great, but you know, I would change the drive system on this a little bit. You know, you have to go very fast. You have to keep it on with a throttle. You know, I might switch. Personally, I would switch it where you're using WS to go forward and back. I tend to like to drive a tank manually, so I do WS for the left track and up down for the right track, but that's just me. But, you know, the braking system's not bad, but if you don't get this up to speed, you can't turn. So I would work on the drive system on this one. Let's see. The airplane, like I said, the controls were very twitchy. I was struggling to fly it. It's a great build, and it has the detailing was excellent. I would definitely make it so that when you bring the throttle all the way back, it does not shut the engine off. That is something you definitely don't want, IRL. I would also put the throttle on, personally, I like the up-down arrows, but even if it was on 1, 2, because stop looking where I'm going and look over to the right. Well, if you're coming in for a landing, you need to reduce your thrust as you're landing. Well, you can't do that. You're going to crash. So those are the only couple critiques I would have. If your buttons are not labeled, please label your buttons. This tank here, I would put a couple more of the controls on the H menu, label your seat so that you can see what's going on. But again, 5 great builds, and I really enjoyed playing with them all. Thanks for watching.